Have you ever walked away from a woman feeling invisible, like nothing you did really mattered? You gave your time, your attention, your energy, and somehow she didn't notice. It's frustrating, it makes you question yourself, and it leaves you wondering what went wrong. What if I told you that women remember certain things about a man more than anything else, and understanding these 6 key behaviors could completely change how they see you? Today, Stoic 24 will show you exactly what these are and how you can embody them naturally, without forcing, chasing, or overthinking. Think about the last time you were emotionally reactive or uncertain. Maybe she pulled away, tested you, or didn't respond the way you hoped, and you felt powerless. Most men fail because they misunderstand how women perceive behavior. Women remember the way a man made them feel, not just the gestures or words. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control others, but we can control ourselves, our reactions, and the way we present our character. By acting from virtue and calm authority, you create lasting impressions without trying too hard. The first thing women never forget is emotional consistency. A man who responds with calm, who does not overreact to minor slights, criticisms, or unexpected tests, immediately stands out in her mind. Think about it. How many times have you witnessed a man lose his composure over something trivial, raising his voice, lashing out, or becoming defensive, only to see the woman's respect vanish in an instant? That moment of instability erases any attraction he may have built and replaces it with doubt. Emotional consistency is not about suppressing feelings or being cold. It is about mastering them, controlling your reactions, and choosing how you respond deliberately. When you pause, center yourself, and consider your next move, you are demonstrating self-mastery, patience, and inner strength, qualities that women instinctively notice and remember. This calm presence signals that you are reliable, steady, and not easily shaken by circumstances or emotions that do not serve you. It shows that you are capable of handling pressure, conflict, and uncertainty without losing your composure. Women are wired to recognize this kind of stability because it reassures them that you can be a protector, a leader, and someone they can trust. Every time you respond calmly instead of reacting impulsively, you create a subtle imprint in her mind, a memory of strength and control that persists long after the moment has passed. Emotional consistency also shapes the dynamic of every interaction. It allows you to navigate challenges with clarity rather than chaos, to maintain authority without aggression, and to communicate confidence without arrogance. When she sees that you do not allow minor irritations, arguments, or misunderstandings to destabilize you, she begins to associate you with reliability, composure, and integrity. That memory is powerful, it lingers. Women rarely forget a man who remains grounded while others lose control, who handles difficult situations with calm judgment and quiet confidence. This is why cultivating emotional consistency is not just a skill. It is a cornerstone of lasting respect, attraction, and influence. Master it, and you leave an impression that endures far beyond any superficial gestures, words, or fleeting displays of charm. The second thing women never forget is the presence of respectful boundaries. A man who knows his limits and enforces them calmly commands an unspoken respect that words alone cannot achieve. Women notice when a man consistently honors his own values, protects his time, and refuses to be manipulated or pushed around. On the other hand, a man who always says yes, constantly sacrifices his needs to please others, or allows himself to be treated as secondary quickly becomes forgettable. Defining what you will and won't tolerate is not about rigidity or harshness. It is about demonstrating self-respect and emotional intelligence. When you set boundaries with clarity and consistency, you show that your life has structure, your principles have weight, and your time is valuable. Women instinctively sense this, and it leaves a lasting impression. Imagine a scenario where she texts or calls demanding immediate attention at an inconvenient hour. Instead of responding with irritation, defensiveness, or guilt, you answer thoughtfully, with calm reasoning, acknowledging her while maintaining your own priorities. That response signals discipline, patience, and self-control, qualities that are rare and deeply memorable. Boundaries also communicate your character in every interaction. They show that you are a man who values himself, who does not bend to temporary desires or emotional whims, and who acts with purpose rather than reaction. Women remember men who can balance empathy with firmness, kindness with structure, and attention with personal integrity. That memory lingers far longer than flashy gestures, smooth talk, or momentary charm. Respectful boundaries create a framework in which attraction and admiration can grow naturally. They set the tone for every interaction, shaping how you are perceived and how others behave around you. By consistently enforcing your limits without aggression or overreaction, you cultivate authority, presence, and trust. Women rarely forget a man who stands firm yet fair, who manages himself with quiet confidence, and who demonstrates that his values are non-negotiable. That discipline, brother, is unforgettable. The third thing women never forget is purposeful action. Women are instinctively drawn to men who live with intention, who make decisions deliberately rather than reacting to events as they unfold. Purposeful action signals direction, focus, and competence, qualities that communicate value far more powerfully than words, charm, or superficial gestures ever could. Every small choice, whether it's organizing a meaningful evening, taking initiative in planning, or simply leading a conversation with confidence, demonstrates that you operate from a place of control and vision rather than chaos or indecision. When you structure your life around deliberate actions and consistently take the lead in situations that matter, you establish a presence that is both commanding and attractive. She notices the man who does not wait for permission, the man who steps forward quietly, confidently, and without arrogance. That kind of initiative shows a deep sense of self-assuredness and purpose, and it leaves a lasting imprint. Women remember men who act with clarity and intention because such men make them feel safe, respected, and inspired by example. Purposeful action also reflects the underlying mindset of a man who is guided by values and goals rather than fleeting emotions or external validation. It signals that you are a man of substance, someone who invests in results rather than appearances. When she sees you consistently making choices that align with your principles and objectives, she associates your presence with reliability, competence, and leadership. That memory is powerful. It lingers far beyond the moment itself. Ultimately, women never forget men who live intentionally because those men demonstrate that their lives are governed by direction and integrity, not circumstance or neediness. Leading with purpose, taking decisive action, and acting without the need for external approval shows strength, autonomy, and confidence. The impression of a man who consistently moves with intention is indelible. It sticks long after fleeting encounters fade. She remembers him because purposeful action is proof of character, stability, and mastery of self, the very qualities that create lasting attraction. The fourth thing women never forget is authenticity. Women instinctively recognize a man who is unapologetically himself, who does not shapeshift or pretend to be something he is not in order to gain approval or impress. Authenticity is reflected in every aspect of your presence, your demeanor, your speech, your actions, and the way you carry yourself in the world. When you act from your true self, guided by your principles and Stoic virtues, You naturally exude confidence, quiet authority, and self-respect. A woman notices when a man does not compromise his character to please others or to fit an expected mold. That steadfastness signals integrity, strength, and a sense of personal mastery, all of which are deeply attractive and memorable. Unlike charm or superficial gestures, authenticity creates a lasting imprint because it is real, consistent, and undeniable. She remembers the man who can remain true to himself under pressure, who makes decisions in alignment with his values, and who does not chase attention or validation from others. Living authentically also communicates emotional and mental independence. It shows that your sense of worth does not rely on the approval of women or anyone else. By remaining grounded in who you are, you project a calm confidence that draws respect naturally. Every interaction becomes meaningful because it is unfiltered, sincere, and intentional. Women rarely forget men who live this way because authenticity cannot be faked, and the impression it leaves is both immediate and lasting. In essence, authenticity is the foundation upon which respect, admiration, and attraction are built. A man who is fully himself, who acts consistently with his values and principles, leaves a memory that lingers far longer than any clever words, flashy gestures, or temporary charm. That is why authenticity is unforgettable, and why cultivating it is one of the most powerful tools a man can use to leave a lasting impact. The fifth thing women never forget is emotional generosity. This is not about being a pushover, bending to every whim, or giving endlessly without thought. It is about offering genuine support, presence, and attention when it truly matters. Emotional generosity is deliberate, thoughtful, and guided by discernment. A man who can tune into what a woman truly needs in a moment, who can empathize without losing himself, communicates care in a way that words alone cannot convey. Women notice men who respond meaningfully, who lift them up when they feel vulnerable, and who validate their experiences without overstepping or seeking approval. It is the subtle balance of kindness and restraint that makes this trait unforgettable. You do not give everything indiscriminately. You give with intention, guided by your principles and your understanding of what will genuinely make a difference. That combination of empathy and controlled strength creates a memory that endures far beyond the immediate interaction. Emotional generosity also demonstrates self-awareness and emotional intelligence. When you can offer support while maintaining your own boundaries and composure, you signal stability and maturity. Women remember the man who listens, who responds thoughtfully rather than reactively, and who can be both strong and nurturing without confusion or weakness. This leaves a lasting imprint because it shows a depth of character that few men display consistently. Ultimately, emotional generosity is powerful because it blends heart and discipline. It communicates that you are capable of care and connection, but on your terms, rooted in your values. Women rarely forget men who can strike this balance. The men who show kindness without compromising their integrity, who provide presence without expectation, and who validate them while maintaining their own strength. That memory, brother, is enduring, and it shapes the way she perceives you in ways charm and words never could. Finally, the sixth thing women never forget is consistent growth. Women are naturally drawn to men who actively improve themselves, who challenge their own limits, and who pursue mastery in their lives. This is not about bragging or flaunting accomplishments. It is about quietly demonstrating through action and presence that you are a man who evolves, adapts, and rises to challenges rather than remaining stagnant. Consistent growth signals ambition, resilience, and self-discipline, qualities that leave a lasting impression far deeper than superficial charm. She remembers a man who is always moving forward, who seeks to refine his skills, mind, and character, and who invests in becoming the best version of himself. This kind of steady progression shows that your life has purpose, that your actions are intentional, and that you are committed to living with integrity and focus. Women recognize this even when it is subtle. The way you handle setbacks, the way you approach goals, and the way you carry yourself in daily life all communicate that you are a man of substance. Consistent growth also demonstrates self-mastery. By striving to improve in meaningful ways, you show that you are not dependent on others for validation, that your confidence is earned through effort and principle rather than borrowed from attention or praise. She remembers the man whose life reflects purpose, discipline, and refinement, because that presence is rare and deeply impactful. This kind of growth builds attraction naturally, creating a sense of admiration and respect that is impossible to forget. Ultimately, a woman never forgets a man who grows consistently because he embodies progress, strength, and the quiet authority of someone who refuses to settle. He is memorable not for fleeting gestures or charm, but for the life he leads, the values he upholds, and the way he continuously elevates himself. By committing to consistent growth, you leave an enduring impression that shapes how she perceives you, how she interacts with you, and how she remembers you long after the moment has passed. Look back now, brother. Before applying these principles, you may have felt overlooked, reactive, or frustrated. After understanding and embodying them, you carry a presence that commands respect and attention naturally. You act with calm authority, enforce boundaries without conflict, move with purpose, remain authentic, give emotional generosity selectively, and grow continuously. Women notice these qualities and, more importantly, remember them. If this breakdown of the 6 things women never forget helped you, wait until our next Stoic 24 video, where we reveal the 5 actions that instantly make a woman respect you. Tell me in the comments, which of these 6 habits do you already practice, and which will you start implementing this week? Subscribe now to keep mastering these principles and elevate your presence with the guidance of Stoic 24.